I'm Dawna Hetzler.
And I'm Sally Smith.
We, just like you, are bravely walking through the dark valleys of life in hopes of scaling joyful summits.
We believe that safe and trusted women are a force to be reckoned with. When we climb together, we can reach the mountaintop.
Many of our challenges come from feeling as if we are stuck while trying to ascend, hiding in crevices, waiting for storms to pass.
Might we suggest that you have a more proactive role in reaching the peaks of your own life?
Let's laugh at the untruths we were taught, from the common religious myths to the lies we believe about our situations and about ourselves.
It is our hope that our time together brings you solace from life's daily drudgery and a bit of lighthearted laughter.
This is a safe place where you are welcome, right where you are, even in your questions and doubts. So rise up, sister. It's time to conquer together.
And we certainly hope you'll say,
"Now that's funny."
Welcome to another episode of That's Funny. Now, here's your host, Dawna Hetzler and Sally Smith.
Hello, sister.
Hello.
Still apart, but it is great to see you. And happy New Year, everybody. We are welcoming January. It's my birthday month, so welcome. Birthday celebration all month.
I know. And we usually go all out for birthdays, so I got to get busy planning.
That's right. So get going, because as soon as I get back, we are having a good old birthday celebration.
We sure are.
Well, welcome everybody. We are starting a whole new topic this month for January. And our topic is everything happens for a reason. Now that's
funny.
funny.
That is funny because, people gave us this topic months ago that they wanted to hear about. And it's such a broad topic and such a big topic to tackle. We've kind of been holding off and waiting till the new year to really dive into this topic.
Well, we've needed some time to kind of really pray and digest and figure out, like, okay, what is that a true statement? Everything happens for a reason, and kind of unpack it together.
Right.
And so as we are praying and working on all your questions, just bear with us because we don't know everything and we are here journeying with you, but we want to invite you into the journey so that we can have a discussion and just think broader and bigger, because God is so infinite. There's multiple, ways that he can work things out, right?
That's right. As we're diving into this topic, we're going to get started, but, we were thinking about it and we were talking about it. Life often brings us unexpected challenges. They bring us heartaches. They bring us moments of joy. In the midst of all of it, many people wrestle with this question. I mean, it's a tough question. Why does this happen? Is there a purpose behind everything we face? For those of us who believe in Jesus, there's a lot of scripture that supports this.
Right.
But before we really dive into this, like, I truly, truly, truly have been waiting for this moment for you to start sharing your story. So, I mean, everybody that doesn't know this story, or even if they need to hear this story again, let me tell you, prepare.
Brace yourself.
Brace yourselves.
Wow, you just set me up for I better be good.
Yeah, better get going there, girl.
Better get going on it. Okay. Well, it was a late summer morning back in 2019, and just another ordinary day. I was setting up for an open house in Commerce City at a townhouse. And it was late morning. I just got there. I turned on the lights. I got the brochures ready. And I hadn't been there maybe 10 minutes. And there was this very loud knock on the door. And so I went and answered the door. Here comes, the first prospect to look at this beautiful townhome. And there was a single man there, very tall man, and I welcomed him in. And we both walked back through the townhome, and I turned left as he went straight into the living room, and there was this breakfast bar between us. So we started engaging in a conversation. And as we conversed, he had talked about, the square footage. He didn't live too far away. This could work, but he wants to go upstairs and see the bedrooms for his roommate and see what the situation is, if it would work size wise. So we both merge back as we're talking. He's asking all the right questions. And so we're heading back towards the front door. The stairs are right by the front door. And I come out of the kitchen, and we land right in front of the stairs. And we were so close together. And it was this really awkward, like, moment. And in that moment, I decided to take the first step. And the minute I stepped up those stairs in front of this strange man, I remember saying to myself, Dawna, you just put yourself in a position of weakness, because I know a lot about safety, and you never give your back to somebody. And so here's this guy behind me. Door is getting smaller and smaller because I'm walking up the stairs, but I did realize what I had done. So I turned, and being Sicilian, I talk with my hands. So we're walking up the stairs. I'm kind of walking up sideways, and I'm talking to him and just looking at him. And he asked me about a VA loan. And I said, oh, you've served our country. And he got real shifty eyed with me, wouldn't look me in the eye. And he said, yes, I was a Marine. Now, once a Marine, always a Marine.
Right.
And that just struck me wrong. Now this is happening really fast. And we're about halfway up the stairs. And I look him straight in the eyes and I say, thank you for your service and for serving our country. And he wouldn't look at me, and he said, oh, sure. And what are usually, my military friends, your military family and friends are, yes, ma'am, it's my duty, it's my honor, all these things. Oh, sure. So now my gut's tightening more and more every response. And I don't think my life is in danger, but I definitely I have this sense that something's not right.
Right.
So, we get upstairs, we get into the master bedroom, and I decide I just need to make space. I just need to make space. That's from my safety knowledge. I get on the other side of the master bed, not by the door side, but that's the only way I could make space. And right then and there, it just all went down. So he lifts up his shirt, he pulls out this 12-inch knife, and he says, this is a knife. And he goes, this is bear spray. Like something's tethered to his belt. This is bear spray. This is a knife. Take off your ring, get in the closet now. And it was like my brain kind of slowed down, like, this is happening, but he's got a knife. Is that bear spray? And they say in those types of situations where adrenaline starts going, you either speed up really fast or you slow down. So I
Right.
slowed down. And what had triggered me was the words take off, and then also this action of him drawing something. So
Right.
at that very moment, without thinking anymore, I just dropped down to my knee. I pulled up my pant leg, and I came out with my firearm. And as I'm coming out, he had the bear spray off of his belt already and spraying me. So I came out before I could even get a sight picture with my firearm. I saw the bear spray, and so I pulled the trigger, and he had sprayed me. So I'm sure I, jerked the trigger, but the
Right.
bullet went right past him. And he, of course, his eyes were like, huh, and he goes running down the stairs. And I took a millisecond to just catch my breath, like, this is
Right.
happening, right? And then I decided that I was going to follow him, down the stairs, because, I've seen all those scary movies where
Right.
they come back for you. And so I'm like, I'm going to make sure he gets out. I don't know if he has friends, he's coming back, what's going on. But I did see him run out the front door. And by this time, my eyes are real blurred. My skin's burning from this oil-based bear spray. And so here I am, like, rinsing my eyes in the kitchen, blurry, starting to cough because I'm asthmatic. And I was able to still have my phone, which I always keep in my front pocket. And so I called 911. And, from my training, basically it was like, my name is, I'm located at, I have a concealed carry license. I'm going to lock the front door. I'll need you to verify when police and paramedics get here. just kind of check, check, check is how it went in my head. And then as soon as I got the door locked, I kind of broke down and I'm like, I can hardly breathe. And what if he comes back? And, what if the police can't get in because the door is locked and I pass out, and they just said, keep rinsing your eyes. And so every time I was rinsing, it felt really good and I could see a little bit better, but then it would reactivate the bear spray. So it was like even worse.
Right.
So paramedics come and police department come, they verify. I open the door. A female CSI agent comes and pulls me out to the porch. Two male officers go in there. They're coughing and gagging because the bear spray was so strong it penetrated from the top floor to the first. And she sat me down and told me I did everything okay. In the meantime, they wanted to get me some steroids. They had the ambulance there. So I'm getting into the ambulance. And she says to me, "You did the right thing." And I looked at her and I kind of jumped her and I'm like, I know I did the right thing. I just saved my own life.
Right.
But give me a moment. Like, I just fired at another human being. And while he was wrong, I need to process this for just a minute. There was so much happening. And so I knew that I had saved my own life, but I just needed a second because there was so much going on. And then I started to cry and then it started to burn again. So I'm like, I can't cry. I can't cry. I can't cry. So I'm just getting loaded into the ambulance, and the police officer that was there tried calling my husband from my phone. And so he called and he said, "This is Commerce City Police. Your wife has been in an accident." And then my phone dropped. And this happened 3 times to David. So here's poor David, like, getting himself at the car. I think he tried to call you a
He
bunch of
did.
times and you weren't around. So he was like, what do I do? And so he calls my dear friend in California. And so Julianne helped kind of navigate and keep his mind clear. And he finally got to the ER where I was at, and he was kind of getting briefed as he was walking into my room. And he got into my room and he looks at me, and I just remember him about to break down in tears, just seeing me that I was okay. But he said he still didn't know the full story. And he said, "Did this man touch you?"
Oh,
And I said, "No, he didn't touch me. He didn't touch me." And I said, "But I just fired at, another person." And so he wanted to hug me and, just be with me. And he felt bad that he wasn't my there for that incident, because he is my knight in shining armor. And so he had his own little bit of trauma from just, getting there and not knowing, and have to process that for months after that. But I will tell you kind of a quick version of, since we're so limited in time, a quick version of what happened. The man ended up leaving the knife on scene, and I had fingerprints on the brochure that I handed him. And I went the next day to Commerce City Police Department to do the sketch, identify him. I did various interviews with news stations and what have you, and it aired that day and the word got out. But because of the news, it's a long story, so maybe we'll have to do like how they actually found the guy later. But based on the news, and they did a real good job getting my story out and all the evidence, they found the can of bear spray just 2 blocks away the next day. And all that evidence they ran a make on the fingerprints and everything. He had a previous criminal history of attempted murder, is my understanding, in the 90s. So a very dangerous person. And so he did take a plea agreement, and he's serving 15 years in jail right now. So yay, right? It
yeah.
turned out to be good, but it could have been a lot worse than that.
Right.
So
Right. I can't I literally just have a lump in my throat because of course I lived this with you
yes,
and I've heard this story many times, but I just can't. I just you are just a warrior. You are
oh,
a
thank you.
warrior. And
Thank you.
as we were thinking about your story and this specific topic, everything happens for a reason. Like,
Yes.
what was the reason? And
Well, I thought you were asking me, so I'm like, well, I got a whole mouthful about
well, I'm
that.
sure you have a whole mouthful and you could tell us, but not only what was the reason, but what have other people said to you, is the reason or the reason things happen. I think that that's an important detail of this whole topic.
Absolutely so. And it's a great question. And that's kind of why we're doing the show is like, let's just, dispel this myth of these things that we say to other people. And I know people want to find solace in bad things. And I do want to just interject here. Like it's been a lot of years and I haven't had, I mean, it was very traumatic at the time as far as being foggy and, having to go through that. But I think it'd be a lot more traumatic if the guy actually touched me or tried to kill me or who knows what,
Right.
right? But I've always had this mindset of he was just an adversary and I did what I did. And I had been tactical training for many years prior to this incident. And just 2 months before the incident, my trainer had me working on my ankle holster. I was carrying that day in my ankle holster. And so just pulling up, coming out, presenting over and over and over again. And so I'm get to the point of one guy said to me, "Thank God that you had a firearm." And my response was, he goes, "Everything happens for a reason. You trained and you had a firearm. Thank God you had a firearm." And I go, "It wasn't the firearm, it was the training." Right?
Exactly.
It was the training. I mean, I could carry a firearm all day long, but if I didn't know what to do with it, right?
And
So
it's that muscle memory. You
it
like
was a
you
muscle
just had it.
memory.
Right.
Yep. So thank goodness for the training and then the firearm for certain. And I take, carrying very seriously as an honor, to have a license like that. And so the person is a good friend of ours who trained us. So I had one woman say, "Well, thank goodness for Kimberly. She got you into tactical training." And I will say, yes, thank goodness for Kimmy teaching me how to do this. I was definitely prepared, but I don't think that was the reason why this happened. So somebody had said to me, the reason was Kimberly helped train you and you were prepared. And
Right.
yes, yes, but there's a bigger picture to it. And then let's see, what was the another one? Oh, I was speaking at a conference and one of the ladies in the audience came up to me and she said, "If it wasn't you who was prepared, it probably would have been one of us unprepared and we probably would have been killed or something like along those lines." And while I think that wraps it up into a package and puts a bow on it, I don't think that is the actual reason. um Maybe, but what I want to dispel before we head off, because we're about at time, is everything happens for a reason. We say that a lot, but it's too neat and tidy. God is infinite with possibilities. Maybe everything happens for many reasons. So I want to throw that out there. So when you are talking to somebody who is going through something difficult, maybe we'll help reframe this on the next episode on what to say. But I don't think there's one reason, actually. So I'm going to leave it there for us. And then we'll pick back up because
You're
there's
leaving us,
so much.
you're
There's
leaving
so
us
much.
on a cliffhanger.
Yes, got to come back next week.
Oh, 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 oh.
Oh, oh, oh.
I
So,
know that you I love that you shared your story with you, and I know you are a very level-headed, you know, yes, I've processed through this. I still have PTSD from it. I'm like, I'm like, oh my God, my sister. And of course, I wasn't there for Dave because I had family in town. And
right.
so then finally he gets a hold of me. So
All of that stuff. And I do want to say to listeners, if you've had a scenario where it didn't go so well for you, I just want to send out some love to you right now because I can say I've told this story over and over, right? Because I'm on a platform speaking at many safety engagement things. And so I can say this very like, this is what happened, just kind of like, but I have felt all along adversary, I did what I had to do, and I probably would feel different if there was a bigger trauma, if you will.
right.
So I just want to throw that out there because I know many women have been through, and men have been through some pretty horrific things out there. And so, anyways, I want to leave you on this note that everything probably happens for many reasons, and we'll dig in deeper next week. But in the meantime, don't believe the lie that everything happens for a singular reason. Now that's
That's funny. Bye, everyone.
Have a great week.
From the heavens high above, I feel the touch of his laughter and love. In every moment, tear and smile, God's humor is heard, every step, every mile. Keep walking, dear sister. You've got this.